Hey kids, welcome back to another week of Old Man Plays CFL Weekly Fantasy. Had a good start to the day. Managed to get up early and take my puppy on a nice hike before the heat closed in too much, which seemed like a wonderful idea. She enjoyed the heck out of it, and so did I until I got home and my sinuses blew up. Oh, must have walked past something the allergies didn't like. So I apologize for any sniffling. I'll try to keep it to a minimum and edit it out. I've hit some decongestant and, well, we're going to have to see how well that works. Anyway, looking at the week that was, I managed to score myself 146.5 points. I was up against Cooper Trooper from Canadian Football Countdown, and he was in at 142.9. So, a whole 3-point lead. After the close loss last week, I'll take a 3-point victory. No problem. Overall for the season, I've gotten, where am I sitting here? I've gotten 339.2 points at this point, and I believe I'm 10th overall in the league because of my first two losses. But hey, we're coming on back. So looking at this week, what are we going to do? Well, there's 4 games, so it should be lots of choices, but let's start with the quarterbacks. We begin with tonight, Edmonton at Winnipeg. If Edmonton wins, it's going to be on Rankin. And Winnipeg, well, the Edmonton defense has been playing well, and I still don't have faith in Zach putting together a lot of good games. So I'm not looking at either of them at quarterback. Now we go on to tomorrow night. Toronto comes into Saskatchewan. And again, Kelly's been putting up huge numbers, but he hasn't faced a defense like the Riders have yet. Now, mind you, the Riders have Milligan out, and they have his backup out. So they're starting at the halfback. They're starting someone that they just signed a week and a half ago. Had a lot of time with Toronto, but looks like mostly special teams. So what will that do? I don't know, but I still don't trust them giving up enough busts to help Kelly out that much. So I don't really want to go with Kelly. On the other hand, Harris, well, I don't normally go to him because he's not that flashy, but he's been putting up good yardage numbers, good touchdown numbers lately. That Toronto defense got blown up by Montreal, and even Ottawa got 24 points on them. So Harris, I think I might lean to, and depending on what Schaefer Baker costs, maybe go to him because he's a good pair up and he's had a couple of good weeks. Now, who knows? It could be that this week it'll be someone else that blows up for them. So either Emilus or Johnson, depending on price, might also be worthwhile. Yeah. Then we go to the Touchdown Kelowna game. And if any of you are coming to Touchdown Kelowna, come see me. look for me. I'm in the west end zone. I'll be wearing some sort of rider gear depending on the weather, and I would love to talk to y'all in person. Talk some CFL football. However, the game itself, well, Hatcher is limited, so we don't know if he'll be back. McInnes has been a DNP all week. So who are they going to throw to? They've brought in a bunch of guys. Well, I said on our flagship show, it feels like they're picking up receivers who are waiting for work outside Home Depot in the mornings. So I can't see going with Nathan. As good as he is, as much as he performed well with a backup crew last week, it doesn't make sense. And VA, he should be money against that BC defense. They've just been torched for so much. So possibly. But VA also runs hot and cold, and this is on a grass field, and now they're saying probably just cloudy, no rain for Saturday, but they're still saying possible rain for this evening and tomorrow, so I'm a little leery there. All right, and then that takes us to the last game of the week, Ottawa at Montreal. Well, Mayer is out of the question, And Davis, he looks like he could be good, but we don't know for sure what's going on. They don't see a lot of injuries as far as their offense goes, but without the depth charts, and so I wouldn't advise against going with Alexander and either Philpott or Sneed, but I don't know that I'm going that way. The other thing to keep in mind is that Montreal has both their starting cornerbacks did not participate so far, Burns and Ento. Will they be back for the game? I don't know, but what does that do, letting Ottawa stay on the field and limiting Davis's time? So, kind of tough. Running backs, again, tough week, because I certainly don't want to take anyone from Toronto against Saskatchewan. Mills, if I can afford him, probably good, although BC's only given up 70 yards against the ground on average in their first two games. It's the one part of their defense that does seem to be working. Rankin, hey, if you pick him on a week when he hits, boom. But if you pick him on another week, he could be shut down. We'll have to see with that. So I'm thinking about that. I don't have faith in Brady because I don't know if Condell's going to run the ball the way that he should. Saskatchewan might maybe another running back there because AJ's out, so there could be something cheap. But they're saying they're starting Conley, and I don't know if I trust that. I would have thought they would have started Bertrand Houdon, Thomas the Train. But maybe one of those. We'll have to see, and if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. And again, Greg Bell, I don't see. He ran very well against Montreal when he was with Hamilton, but that's behind a different offensive line. So I don't know about there, and Montreal rarely runs the ball. So it's tough choices all around. And then defenses. Well, Montreal, like I said, are down their two starting cornerbacks. They're a great defense. Be good to take them, but I don't know. Saskatchewan, well, they've got a unproven person at the important position of halfback. Toronto's got a new safety in. It's maybe Edmonton is the best pick there. I don't know. BC certainly has gone nowhere. Calgary hasn't done a lot at stopping people. So we'll see. It might come down to who's the cheapest defense. That's a lot, isn't it? And basically saying, I don't know. But we'll fire up the game on the old computer here and see what's what. Okay, and let's start with quarterback. Like I said, I thought that comes down to basically Harris or Alexander. Alexander's at 15 and Harris is at 14. Well, you know what? We're going to take Harris. So let's see what that would take then to team him up with. Let's see what the Saskatchewan receivers are going to cost us. Here, Schaefer-Baker is at 13.5. Emelis is at 14.2, and Johnson's at 15. So I'm going with Schaefer-Baker the way he's been going on these last few weeks. I think that looks good. Running back, like I said, I think either Mills or Rankin is probably our top bets, and Mills is actually cheaper than Rankin, and I have more faith in his consistency. So that's where I'm going to go with that one. That looks fairly good. We've still got $30K for 4 positions, so what does that average out to? About $8K per position. Let's look at the defense. Who have we got that's the cheapest here? Let's see now. BC Lions, yeah, they should be cheap. Ottawa then. Edmonton at 7. You know what? I'm going to take a chance on that defense. We might revisit that if it turns out that we've got some extra money in the bank. So let's then talk about running backs here again. We put Mills in there. Let's see if Saskatchewan even has Conley listed. They haven't always been the best at it. They do, and at 2.5. Oh, so let's take a chance that they actually do what they say they're going to do and run him as the first string. So we'll put that in there. So that brings us back to wide receivers with 20K. So we're good for wide receiver and flex. We got 10K on each of them. So let's do that. Is there anybody else here that we can get under that price for Saskatchewan that's got a chance of doing something? No, and I don't. So let's open this up to the league. And look, first of all, if we take 15 on that, that would only leave us 5. So let's look at, what the heck. See what we've got here. Mattel has been playing well. Where is he at? He's at 13. We could get Sneed for 13.4. Hard to say. Hard to say. Oh. Touchdown Tommy Neal in Winnipeg. Yeah, let's go with that, which leaves us another 10.2K, so we can just barely afford the bottom of this list right now here. Let's put it up here and go over 10K and see who's there at the very bottom of that list that we might be able to afford. Herslow, is he even playing? I didn't think I saw him on the list. Hardy. And no, we're already up above where we wanted to be, and he's not even playing. So let's go to the ones that are just under 10K. Let's go to the ones that are 8 to 10K and see what we get there. While Wheatball's not playing, Trevon Jones, Seth Pimpleton, and Hilaire. Nothing that I'm feeling fantastic about there. So let's see if we go down here one more. Senecal, well, he showed up well for BC. And he might be the best receiver they have out there. Looking at what we've got on that, I'm going to go with him. So that leaves me 3.2K. We go up to 6K. Are we going to get a better running back opportunity than Conley? I don't think so. So what about defenses? Could we do any better on our defenses if we've got 10.2 to spend on them? Well, that's more than I could spend on Montreal. But I could get Calgary. Could get Winnipeg. No, you know what? I'm going to go back to the Elk. Okay, so there we have it. Edmonton Elks is my defense. My quarterback is Trevor Harris of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he's captain as well. Running backs, I've got Diedrich Mills of Calgary and Conley of Saskatchewan. Not even sure of the first name. I'm not even going to try it. Okay. Wide receiver, I got Keaton Schaefer-Baker from Saskatchewan. I've got Tommy Neal out of Winnipeg, and I've gone with Senecal from BC because of how he performed last week. That's it. That's the team, locking it in. Okay, so that's it. That's my team. Those are my picks. If you want to copy any of them, do so at your peril. I am coming back. I'm 1-2 now. Happy about the win last week, but confident of another one this week. Like I said, up against Travis Currah of the 2 and Out Network. Travis has been doing this a long time, but I got some confidence. Please remember, if you're enjoying this, if it's helping you at all, subscribe, drop a like. That certainly helps us. Drop a comment if there's anything that you like or don't like. And on the podcatchers, write a review, a good one, and a 5-star rating, especially easy on Apple. I know I beg every week on this, but it really is helping. We're seeing a steady increase in subscribers and followers on the podcatchers, so you must be doing something right. Please help us out with that. Help us grow the CFL Outsiders empire. But that's about it. We'll be back with the flagship show next Wednesday, and I think the games start on Thursday again next week, so I'll be back next Thursday with an update on what happened with my fantasy and where I'm going that week. But for now, Old Man, signing off.